Welcome to Reading and Writing Between the Lines, a podcast series about communication skills in the workplace. I'm your host, John Witzman. Join me as I speak with industry professionals and Conestoga faculty and alumni to explore their journeys with reading and writing skills. Follow us as we talk about how communications learning has changed over the years, how these skills are used in a wide range of industries, and the future of workplace communications. So this is a point in the conversation that sort of resonates with a lot of the other conversations I have on this podcast with people from every other field imaginable, whether it's construction management or policing or nursing. I always am curious to know whether you think that the very applied form of communication that takes place in real time, often verbal, to what extent do you think your ability to communicate well and effectively in that space, to what extent do you think you're good at that because of the development that you had reading and writing in a more, conventional sense? Do you think you're better at communicating in real time effectively and efficiently because you were trained in that more traditional reading and writing space?
Definitely. I think that there's an ability to, when you're talking with that in real-time communication, is to take pause and understand the difference between this is something that needs to be communicated now or later.
Right.
And then on a broader sense. So if you learn from something that would happen, like you use the example of a construction site or any trades where it's very practical, being a chef, ties right into that sort of thing. But then acknowledging at the end of service or at the end of a season, at the end of like when you're writing a new menu, realizing, okay, where did we get hiccups? Where did we get stitched up? Where are the challenges here? And then communicating to the entire team a strategy moving forward, be it with written memos, be it with staff meetings, be it with this constant engagement that is two-way, communication. It's not just, the chef directing everyone saying, here's what you do. At least that's not how I would operate things.
Yeah.
It's more of an involvement in the team. And then that communication, when you actually get to catch your breath and examine what you've been through, be it, like I said, one service or 1 month or an entire year, you're going to use that communicating with each other to try and develop where you're going to kind of go next.
And that marks the end of another episode of Reading and Writing Between the Lines, a podcast hosted by me, John Witzman, on behalf of the Communications Department and School of Interdisciplinary Studies at Conestoga College. You can find other episodes of this series on our YouTube channel, Reading and Writing Between the Lines. Stay tuned for more episodes. Thanks for listening.